Hello everybody, how's it going? And welcome to the Just Chatting Gaming News and Trailers for March 23rd. We've got a handful of news stories and a bunch of trailers. We actually have a couple of embargoes that dropped today. And you know what? We have more games coming out and they're all good. And this needs to stop. There's too many games out and not nearly enough time to play them all. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and jump into the news of another delayed game. We've seen a couple trailers for the new Suicide Squad game, Kill the Justice League. It's officially been delayed to spring of 2023. Frankly, I am not surprised whatsoever. Also, there's another DC game that's already coming out this fall. The fact that they would even attempt to double up on that's a terrible idea. So yeah, push this one into the spring, and it'll probably be by itself and get much better traction. But yeah, of the trailers we've seen from this, most of it has been like cinematic trailers and in-game, like cutscenes essentially, and it looks like it could be okay. But I feel like we need to know like a lot more on exactly what that game is going to be. As I mentioned, we had 2 embargoes drop today. One is for the brand new Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which as you can see here is getting absolutely fantastic reviews. One of the best Kirby games ever made. And the second one is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is also getting really good reviews. Not quite as good as the Kirby reviews, but still good nonetheless. I'm like 90% I'll be streaming Tiny Tina's Wonderlands at some point down the road. Kirby, I haven't played a Kirby game since probably the N64 days. So, it looks alright. I don't know. We'll see. I think I heard it was like a 15-ish hour game where Tiny Tina's, I think the core story is 20-something, but then there's like a whole end game that you can mess around in forever, so yeah, 2 more awesome games coming up. One other quick thing I could show you here real fast. I didn't actually have this queued up, but I can bring it up, and that's actually the release schedule. We haven't taken a look at that in a while, and it looks like we're actually going to be seeing a little bit of a slowdown. And honestly, I hope what we see here does not change. So we're into March right now, and there's 1,000 games that came out. So we're at the 23rd. So Ghostwire Tokyo, Kirby, King Arthur's Knight's Tale, Weird West to sort of wrap up, and again Tiny Tina as well. So we still got basically this slate of madness still coming out between now and the end of the month. And then yeah, then it slows down. Like April, like 1 game, the Lego game. May right now, like 1 game, 2 Point Campus. June picks up a little bit more with Mario Strikers, Fire Emblem Warriors, and the Cuphead DLC. July right now, nothing. 1 game in August. Now, of course, we do have E3 in June, and Summer Game Fest as well. And I'm pretty sure when that happens, that will fill out the rest of the year. There's still a lot of unknowns. Items like Breath of the Wild 2, God of War, and a few others. You also have stuff like Starfield is currently listed for November 11th. That has not changed. But you also have Redfall, which is coming out of Bethesda as well. And I think that was slated. There's no date on it, but they're essentially still saying fall. So, I want this right here to stay just like that, so we can have the time to actually go back and play a lot of these games that have come out. Like Triangle Strategy, I'm like maybe on that one. We'll probably take a look at Tunic here at some point, and so many others. Somebody in chat mentioned Star Wars Battlefront 3. No, there's no Star Wars Battlefront 3. Apparently, I believe it was either Respawn or DICE pitched Battlefront 3 to Disney, and they said no. I do think at some point down the road, somebody will do a Battlefront 3, but it's not even being made right now. There are a ton of Star Wars games that are being made. And in fact, Respawn is doing a Star Wars shooter of some description, but we have no details on it at this time. Actually, Respawn and their partners are doing, I think it was 3 Star Wars games right now. So you have Fallen Order 2, which is funny enough the next story we're going to talk about. Fallen Order 2, this unknown shooter, and then an unknown strategy game are the 3 that they're working on. But yeah, speaking of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, they came out today and announced that the Cal Kestis lightsaber will be available for purchase at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. The really interesting thing about this announcement, because normally I wouldn't have an announcement like this in the news, but this is actually gaming related. What was really interesting today regarding this particular post, they posted this to like every major Star Wars or Star Wars gaming or Disney or whatever. Just the same post. All of them. And so, you know what that tells me? This is the first piece of marketing for Fallen Order 2. And then coming up here in probably a few weeks, we're going to see what that game's all about. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff. And they got the actor who plays him, who did a bunch of photos at Galaxy's Edge, showing off the saber and stuff. So pretty cool stuff. Well, let's go ahead and flip screens here real quick and get into the trailers. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trailers today. Like I said, we're going to start with a big one, and then we'll end on a big one. Let's go ahead and kill the music. Don't know how many of you guys saw this one, but we have a brand new game announcement from a very popular franchise that actually sees very little video games. And this one has potential to be pretty good. Let's take a look.
Yeah, we saved the world a few times. But between that, we provided a needed service to the masses. That's where you come in. We're passing the torch, or better yet, passing the particle thrower, giving you the tools. Now let's see if you have the talent. Keep your
Probably
head
going to
up,
get copyrighted on
your
YouTube.
Equipment charged. We're a team working together to watch each other's back.
Now, I know you're still a ghost-busting trainee, but there's much more here than meets the eye. Take a look at this. You have the chance to see firsthand what exists on the other side.
Okay, Dan Aykroyd.
Catching ghosts is only the half of it.
So you want to play as a ghost?
This is a multiplayer game, by the way.
I'd like to see you try to take on my team.
So this is by the same developer that did Predator Hunting Grounds and Friday the 13th. All right, next we have an announcement trailer for a new game. This is called Imp of the Sun. Let's take a look. It's like a little fire guy. It's a side-scroller Ori type game. I've generally not played a lot of those games, or games that are like this. Maybe I should say recently. Back in the old Nintendo days, there were so many games like this. That one looks alright. Coming soon for all platforms. Cool, cool. All right, next up, we have a game that Meerrat is very excited for. We've had some private conversation, and Meerrat has told me that he absolutely loves this franchise. He absolutely cannot wait for this one to come out. So, Meerrat, this one's for you. Enjoy. I've never played this franchise. I think it's pretty popular. I mean, they're making another one, so. Look at that. It's got gardening and everything. Man, that person is strong. It's got combat. You gotta brush your sheep. Ride your Ninetales. Do some wrestling moves. There's yearly festivals. It's like an MMO. You gotta clean everything. Find your special someone. There's dating. You get married. This game's got everything. You can have kids. Jeez. The game literally has everything. It's Rune Factory 5. Hey, it's available today. Look at that.
Marvelous.
Whoa. Oh. No. No ads. All right. Next up, we have a trailer for a new game called Four Tales. I know nothing about this.
So, would you like to know the fate of the realm?
Is it a card game?
Good. Then let's begin. First, pick a card. Aha, the thief. You know, I once heard a story about a thief and his friend who were asked to steal a magical lyre. But it was heavily guarded. And it wasn't exactly smart to attack the guards head-on. So, they had to get creative. Now you're getting it. But no sooner had they gotten their hands on the lyre than the thief began to have terrifying visions of the end of the world. And he knew that the only way to escape it was to gather his companions and set off on a voyage into the unknown. And then, well, what happens next is entirely up to you.
I wonder if this is like fully voice acted or fully
Four Tales,
narrated.
a card-based narrative journey.
That could be interesting. I feel like there's so many card games out nowadays, and everybody's trying to figure out what can they do with cards that hasn't been done before. So like a purely narrative card game, I don't know if there's too many of them out there. All right, we have another new announcement trailer. This is for a game called Marauders, also presented in 4K. Here we go. Oh, this is a space game? 1992? What? Is this a Warhammer game? Or 40K? Reach that hole. Oh, so you're like space pirates. Oh, wait a minute. Is this like Escape from Tarkov, except for you're a space pirate? That could actually be really interesting. Team 17. I wonder how you, like, pick your missions. Do you just float about in space until you find a ship you can board, or what? See, that one has my interest peak. It's like, I want to know more about it. All right, we have another new game announcement. This is for a game called Soundfall, also presented in 4K. Noodle cake. This is me every time I get ready to go streaming. I fall into the Twitch river, only to be swept away to a mystical land. A rhythmic-based looter shooter. Interesting. So there must be like different characters. I mean, it's more like an ARPG. Oh, okay, gee, okay, all kinds of gear. I want to be the drummer. Oh, that seems OP. The guy with the baton. This actually seems really cool. The only thing I'm not quite grasping is how does the rhythm part actually mix into the combat? Do you have to hit a guy like every time it's doing the thing at the bottom? I mean, it's already spring there, Soundfall. You guys need to get your stuff together. PlayStation. Huh. That game seems very interesting. Let me go into the more on that. Yeah, coming soon, Soundfall is a fast-paced, music-based dungeon crawler that combines looter-shooter action with rhythmic-based gameplay to create a world of music unlike any other. That game could be my what was the name of the game that came out last year that ended up being my number 2 game? I'm drawing a blank on the name right now. But it's like new and interesting things always like very pique my interest. And a lot of times end up very high on my game of the year list. But that's the kind of game where that could be very, very interesting. Okay, final trailer of the day. We have a near 7-minute trailer from Game Informer talking and showing off 4K gameplay of Forspoken. Let's take a look. This game recently got delayed, which I'm totally fine with.
Who are you, child? My name is Frey Holland. I do not know how I got here. And all I want is to go home.
It's a little soft.
How else did she survive in the corruption?
The people are afraid. They look to me in the council for hope that we cannot give them.
Yeah, this game looks really, really good.
You can.
Hello, friends. Welcome to another exclusive cover video featuring Forspoken. I am Alex Stadnick, and I am joined by the legend herself, Kim K-Star
I don't
Wallace.
think we've seen
Kim.
like actual gameplay
Hello.
like this before with
How you
HUD
doing?
elements.
I'm doing good. Look at what we're looking at here.
Oh, it's beautiful. Today we are giving you a more in-depth look at
This
the
is very
enemies
fast.
of Forspoken, Square Enix and Luminous Productions' new action RPG. Studio behind Final Fantasy 15 is now bringing you a new story centered on Frey Holland, the main character here. And in some of our previous videos, we've shown some of the combat, right? You're going to get that today.
There's
but
so many
to
particle effects
hone in
happening that
on
it makes the
enemies
video look a
because
little
there's some
grainy.
really fantastical creatures in this game that we've gotten to take a look at through the cover story.
Makes
and
it a little
through
hard
some
to
of the
stream,
video.
too.
But, like, Kim, do you want to kind
The
of
artifacting
dive
is
into
just
the
bonkers.
structure of the tiers of the enemies that we'll be
It's like,
encountering here?
how do you make a stream blurry
so
101
there's
this
fog
game?
called the Break, which has invaded this land of Athia, and what happens with that is it's like twisting and corrupting like the animals, the landscape, the people. So what we're looking at here are obviously like these deer, elk-like enemies, and every enemy has 3 different tiers depending on how corrupted they are by the break. So the more twisted they are, you'll see like a more
That's what you
metallic
call it, a
gloss, kind of
30-point
silvery
buck.
stuff over their skin, and they're more challenging, obviously, the further they are corrupted. So you see that in the design to kind of indicate a shift in the difficulty. So you probably want to stay away from these more difficult guys until you're ready to fight them, per se.
Right,
Because
and you have
they will
the-
give you a run for your money.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I believe the rewards, you know, or the XP scales with, you know, if you're fighting the higher enemies and whatnot. But yeah, this is as you've seen in this video, there's a good amount of spells available to our protagonist here. So she has
Maybe they'll show like a
more of
skill tree or
a way
something.
to deal with them. And, you know, we'll see it in this next clip too, but it's not just the animals of this world, right? It's the people too. They've become zombie-esque, as you can see right here.
They creepy.
Yeah,
Let's
they
just
real
say
creepy.
That. They are some of the designs are
Kinda interesting, like, how
wow, and you
many
think about it, too,
spells
'cause
they're
these
showing
were
off here.
once people walking this world and they couldn't escape. There's one
Like, there's, like, a vine
safe
whip spell.
landscape, Sepal, which you'll visit a lot. That's like your central kind of hub.
There's a shield.
Only safe haven village where people were able to escape to, but the ones that didn't, they're morphed.
There's like
into
a
these, like,
vine attack.
really creepy zombie-esque creatures. And again, those will have 3 tiers on them as well.
There she's,
And
like,
I know
throwing
if you
bullets. It was,
beat
like, scatter
the harder
shot.
ones, you will obviously get better items.
There's a
from
sword.
them and all that fun stuff. So it's really for
There was, like, a
once you
forward
feel
fireball.
Like you've mastered
There's
enough of one
a
area
downward
and can take
stab.
them on, but like, look at them here. They're pretty vicious.
Yeah.
Now she has a fire
For real.
spear.
Yeah, I think one of the
They're
things
throwing
that
stuff at you. That's rude.
it's very rude. I think this is one of the main things I'm excited about for Forspoken is this, you know, Square is renowned, especially in like the Final Fantasy series, for these gorgeous, terrifying, you know, high fantasy creatures, and we're definitely getting that in this game, as you can see. And I'm curious, we've only gotten a taste of this, right? This is a huge, sprawling open world, so it's nice to see what some of what we're actually going to fight, and in something I guess I wasn't really expecting. I didn't have zombie golden people
ice attack.
on my bingo card for this game.
Well, what's cool too is you'll
That's like
visit
a
deserted villages.
meteor
and
strike.
They're in there, the zombie people, and you can find out more about some of their lives and get some good treasure chests there. But this person here, look at this.
Yeah, who is this?
It's like
called
somebody
the
from Elden
Pitiless
Ring.
Arbiter. We're in Tanta Prav land, which like those are the evil sorceresses who were once like noble rulers who have become so warped, and she was all justice, you know, virtue. And we're leading up to her. So this
That was like a
guy
fire, like,
here,
spike
poor
attack.
girl, is protecting her. And is
There
like
she
one of
summoned,
those
like, a
final
giant
big bosses you
flaming
face
circle.
to get to her.
Like,
Right.
how many spells
So-
are in this game?
They're pulling out all stops here. I love how they have the scales on her. Very symbolic of the court
Yes.
system.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see. This was the only like Tanta underling that we got to see in our time with it. But Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe each Tanta has different like arbiters. But yeah, that's a quick look at the enemies of Forspoken. If you want to learn more, we have a ton of great stuff over at GameInformer.com/Forspoken. Be sure to check out the magazine because K-Star did it again with another awesome cover story. And then we got some good stuff on YouTube as well. And we'll have a little bit more footage as the week and weeks go on. So Kim, thank you for joining me. Viewers, thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, cool. Another quick little look at that game. Yeah, very good stuff. All right, for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.